The table is awkward. That was awesome.
There you go.
Welcome to the Erik Anders Lang Show, everybody. Very excited to announce that Random Golf Club and the Erik Anders Lang Show are proudly sponsored by our friends and partners at Precision Pro Golf, the original rangefinder of RGC. Play your best golf this season by adding equipment to your bag that you can trust. So, swing with confidence, hit more greens, Precision Pro Golf. And without further ado, Pau Gasol. Are you folks ready? Cue the music, cue the video. Everybody's ready?
Oh, we're ready.
Oh my God, this is so exciting.
Likewise.
So I think we can do the intro at another time.
Sure.
But my first question to you, to get things in perspective here, right? Mm-hmm. People think they know a lot about you, but what do you think people don't know about you?
They definitely don't know how much golf I play.
We actually just checked your handicap.
Yeah?
You played 5 times this month already.
Already? Okay. And it's been, what, 11 days? Probably more. There's one round that I didn't post, I guess.
Was it a good round or a bad round?
It was kind of like incompleted one, so that's why I didn't post it. But yeah, it was, play about every other day, maybe a little more at times.
Why do you play so much golf?
It's been good for my mind's sake. In this period of time where I've retired from professional basketball, even though I really started about 2 years ago, literally, and it's been through pandemic. I was rehabbing at the time, and now that I'm retired, it's been a good getaway. Very, therapeutical, refreshing, disconnecting, just being in touch with nature, which I loved before, and now having a challenging activity in sport that challenges me every day, every round.
It was a stress fracture that caused you to retire.
The stress fracture caused me to be out for pretty much 2 years.
Yeah. Because
I had surgery, and then when I was about to come back, I refractured it. So then I had to be out for another full year. But I rehabbed, and I was able to come back. And I played a few months in Spain in the team that I played for before playing in the NBA, FC Barcelona, which was great. And then I played in the Olympics, which I wanted to that's kind of what I intended to do from the beginning when I found out that I was hurt again. So play my 5th Olympics and then just probably hang it up. And that's kind of how I envisioned it, what I worked hard for, and it made it happen. And then once that happened, I called the retirement.
Did the foot injury, does it have any prevalence? Is it on the golf course? Do you feel it?
No, I don't feel it at all. No, I think helped me through my rehab to walk on grass, uneven surfaces, soft surface kind of thing as well, and just be out there. For the most part, I wasn't walking the course entirely because we played mostly in golf carts.
Painful, right?
It would get tired. It would get a little sore, so I would have to kind of manage that. But to some degree, getting maybe 3 miles, 4 miles in instead of 7, 8, it helped.
Wait, 8 miles of walking?
Sometimes.
That's a lot of walking.
Yeah, it depends on how you hit it. You get that extra mile in.
I wasn't going to make that joke.
But it's not a joke. It's the truth. So you get that extra, and there's car path only too. You get that extra walk too.
So you start golf during the pandemic.
That's right.
Which I honestly had some version of Pau Gasol getting into golf. It was much more extravagant in my head. It was like Phil Jackson was like, Jordan wants to play, and then all of a sudden you're like driving down with the limo, and no, you're just in the pandemic, and you're like, I need to get outside.
Yeah, it was
like a lot of people.
A lot of people. I think golf really took off, or took a big jump, a big leap as far as how many people are playing now during the pandemic, because it was one of the very few things that you could do outside. And yeah, it was that. It was just being stuck in a place for a while, and it was the persistence also of my brother-in-law, who was playing almost every day, and he was going by himself. And I'm like, wow, this guy's just going there by himself every day. And I had the first couple months, I had no interest really to join.
Why?
I was doing this rehab. I was doing my rehab. So I was working out in the morning. I was working sometimes out twice a day. Didn't have the time nor desire to do it.
So backing up. So you're married for how long?
3 years.
Okay. So
and this whole time you've golf's been around you, but you've just never been like, I'm not gonna play.
Well, I didn't really have the time
Right.
to do it. I think it's now that I've played it enough, it's a significant time commitment.
Yeah.
And at first I just said, look, and I don't settle for being average at something. So I'm a pretty good competitor, and I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I would like to be better than most,
Right.
and excel, and be great at whatever I do. So golf has kind of caught me in a way where like I really struggled at first, and I was frustrated, and I was like, okay, I got to do this better, and I got to put in the time now that I have it. And it
So
worked.
you made like a decision,
I did.
like you're
Yeah.
like, I am deciding to invest my time into this game.
Yeah, I don't like doing things halfway.
Yeah.
So if I do something, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. In golf, I needed to make that type of commitment in order to be good at it. And not that I'm great at it, but it's a work in progress, as you know.
I mean, you've been playing for 2 years and you're an 11.1.
And now I'm more in 11.8. I have a couple bad rounds.
Oh, he wants an extra stroke today. That's what's
There
happening.
you go.
That's what's
Gotta
happening.
work to that 12, that
I
extra.
see, I know this thing.
Instead of, what are
You're
you, a
an
6?
You want to win.
You're a
I'm-
6?
I'm not a 6. I
But
mean, it's
around
a
that.
6, but it's definitely more like a 9.
Oh, I'd rather get 6 strokes than
It's okay. I'll
5,
give
you know?
yeah, we'll do 6, 5 to 3 on a 9-hole match.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like I just sealed my own fate.
Nah.
You talked about like committing to get into golf. I feel like it's more common that people just get sucked into golf, and they all of a sudden turn around and 10 years have gone by and they've spent thousands of dollars, and there's
Thousands of hours.
Yeah, thousands of hours, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, like golf is my thing, and I, you know what I mean, like it's an exciting addiction at first, and then when you look back on the years and you're like, oh my god, like I was saying to someone once, like if I had a table that could hold every golf thing, whether it's a tee time or a yardage book or a golf ball or a club or a glove, like how big would that table be? I'm just saying, you made a concerted decision to get into golf. Do you have an addictive personality, or
No,
is it?
not necessarily. More like if I decide to do something, I'm going to commit to it. And if I'm going to spend significant time of my life away from my wife and my child doing something, it has to be meaningful. Obviously, it has to be enjoyable. But I'm going to try to do well.
Define meaningful.
Okay, define meaningful. Meaningful means that it provides something in my life that I give it value and importance. That I understand our time is limited, so if I'm going to dedicate significant time to something, that has to provide value in my life. And golf does. In a moment where after playing about 22, 23 years professionally basketball, there's a gap, right? There's a gap that not that you need to fill it, but you kind of feel like you do. And there's a void that there was something that was taking quite a bit of space and time, and now you can little by little, I guess, fill it with things that you enjoy doing and that are positive in your life.
You've talked about basketball for a long time. What do you enjoy? What part of basketball do you enjoy talking about the most?
I guess my teammates, the relationships that I've made, the friendships that I've made over the years. Even though when you are in those moments and you're going through that grind, you don't quite value them and give them the importance that they actually have for you, because it's such a competitive environment that it's just kind of like focusing on you, your team, but really always pushing, grinding. It's high pace, 82 games, season, preseason, playoffs. Then I play for my country in the summer, so it's just like nonstop, and it's always like the next thing, the next day, the next goal, the next game. So you just keep pushing. You keep working and pushing yourself in order to kind of in a way keep up, but also in a way achieve your goals and be the best player that you can be.
It's interesting because the idea of relationship that you brought up like it's kind of when you look at the typical narrative isn't always about the community that you're with, and it was making me think about Navy SEALs and how apparently being selected to be a Navy SEAL is pretty challenging, right? It's a pretty rigorous process. Sure. And apparently they look at how much your team trusts you more than how good you are.
Right.
Right. And I was kind of learning a little bit about what you were brought in to do with the Lakers, right? You were brought in for a specific role, right? You were a specific purpose.
Sure.
And it was more maybe like a gelling, social, kind of trustworthy situation. Would you say that's true?
I mean, the specific purpose that I thought I was brought in or I was traded for, I was trying to make that team better and complement what was already there and kind of add something that was missing. What was that exactly? Hard to pinpoint. With the system that Phil Jackson played, the triangle, and our teammates that we had and the players that we had, I was kind of a facilitator, a guy that could score, but I could also pass the ball out of the post, out of the elbows, and make plays for others, and complement what Kobe did and his attributes and skill set. So yeah, that's for me at that time. It was kind of like the perfect fit. I fit really right away. My IQ put me in a position to be able to make great plays, both ends on the floor, and it really gave us an opportunity to win championships, which we did. And so yeah, in a way, it's just a matter of me not trying to score as many points as I was doing in Memphis, or trying to get into an ego contest with anyone, or trying to, now I'm in LA instead of Memphis. So hey, I'm going to do a lot more commercials. I'm going to be out and about. Those were distractions. I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in helping that team win a championship. I was interested in actually pursuing an opportunity to have a chance to win a ring, and that was my priority. That was my focus, and it paid off.
Would you say? I gather that you're a relatively spiritual person.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Was that? How did that work with working with Phil?
It worked well. It was more the intellectual challenge and connection than the spiritual. Spirituality more from, kind of cultivating your mind, connecting with yourself, being at peace, being present, being mindful. He did introduce me to mindfulness and meditation, and it's something that I have applied now in my life since I've met Phil and I was part of the Lakers. So reading, the importance of reading, again, cultivating your mind and being challenged that way. So that's what I enjoyed the most, and that's why we connected so well. And I have so many interests, and I was always so curious about so many other things, not just basketball. So that's what Phil called me, the Renaissance man, because I had so many other interests that would balance my life.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that kind of comes up for you, but it's the thing that I think I relate to the most. Like when I like learn about you is like just an intense level of curiosity about all things.
There you go.
Where did that come from?
I would say my parents. Always anything that I've achieved in my life, I always say, has been thanks to my parents, the opportunities that they gave me, the way they raised me. That's how and why I am who I am.
Was one of them? Did one of them model curiosity for you?
I think what they provided with me was to be exposed to different things. So hey, let's just sign you up for music and piano, and try that out. Does it work? Doesn't? And I did piano and music for 5 years until basketball and academics kind of were more demanding. I did, they signed me up.
Were you especially good at piano?
I was pretty good. Yeah, I got to be pretty good with.
Would it be because you must have the hand must be a little bit easier to get across the keys.
The keyboard. Yeah.
So also, the way you say piano is nicer than the way I say it.
Yeah.
You say piano.
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 Next to Italy, I guess. It's not Spanish.
Right.
But the word in Spanish is still just piano.
Yeah.
Piano.
Same thing. Same thing. Yeah.
That's
so,
a bit of a dead end. We can move on.
There you go. No, but I do appreciate and getting to watch a lot of your content on YouTube and your channels and stuff. I appreciate how passionate you are about what you do and how curious you are, how adventurous you are, and that caught me as well. You know, the way you see golf. Even we were listening and reading for the second time, watching that letter that you wrote to golf, kind of thing, which reminded me kind of what Kobe wrote about deer basketball in the poem that he wrote when he retired. So you know, it's all about passion and enjoying what you enjoy, and enjoying that ride and that journey. And you know, so I appreciate what you do, you know, and who you are and what you're about.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
We're gonna need to take a break. I wasn't ready for that. That's a high compliment. I appreciate that. Yeah, I guess for me, I'm kind of lucky, right? Because my curiosity is able to really just rest in the reflection of the people around me. Mm-hmm. But for you, I'm sure it's the same to a large degree. But when I found out you went to medical school for a year, I was kind of like, "What the fuck is that about?"
Right. Well, my mom is a doctor and my dad was a nurse. And when I was a kid, when they asked me, I was a little kid, I was like, "What do you want to be?" I was like, "I want to be a scientist. I want to be." Okay, what does that mean? I was like, "Well, I like to save lives." And then in '91, when Magic announced that he had a HIV and he was HIV positive, it really, one of my basketball idols was, declared that he was HIV positive. With at the time as an 11-year-old, I was like, "Oh shit, he's gonna die." It's like, wow. It's like, really? So I was like, I really want to go into medicine and find cures and save people, and save lives, like my mom does. Like my dad was a nurse as well, and so like my parents do. So that's why when I was 18 and I finished high school, the first choice that I picked in my letter, an application for careers or degrees was medicine, and I was able to get in not because of my grades at the time. They were okay, but they weren't great. But because I was an elite athlete considered. And so every degree had one spot or two spots saved for an elite athlete, was considered. That you had to play for your country, you had to achieve a certain level of success. In my case, I was a European champion with my national team at 18. So I was able to get in, and then for a year I did 1 year in med school. So it was like quite a grind because I was kind of like semi-professional at basketball with FC Barcelona with the B team, and starting to go with the top team. But I was studying medicine, which was fascinating to me, and it was something that we during the anatomy class we would dissect human bodies and cadavers and stuff and identify every part of our body. So it just
was that good?
It's crazy.
Was that?
I mean, it was fascinating.
I feel like that would just be so intense.
It is intense. It is intense because you're working on a human body. That was a person. Yeah. That person has a family, had a life. So you have an incredible amount of respect for what you're doing, and and that person you're working with a body that had a life. And to me, it was like so powerful. It was like I was in so meticulously what I wanted to do and needed to do, and treat that person and body with respect.
All right, folks, Trade Coffee. Let me tell you about the experience I had with Trade. You've heard me talk about Trade Coffee before. The goal is, do you want to know a lot about coffee, or do you want to just have good coffee in your house? You don't need to go take a class. Trade will literally give you expert-tasted coffee based on your preferences from 450 different types. They'll ship it live to you every day. This is the freshest and best tasting coffee that I've ever had at my house. And it's so funny because they just send you the stuff that you like based on other coffees that you've already liked. They're going to deliver a bag of freshly roasted coffee. They can either give you whole beans, which I'm a fan of personally because I like to grind that my elf. Anyway, or they can send you the ground coffee. So you're going to brew it at home right now. Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order. That's a lot of money off your first order, plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/EAL show. That's 40 cups of free coffee from me and Trade Coffee at drinktrade.com/EAL show. You're going to take their quiz, and they're going to find you a coffee that you're going to love. That's drinktrade.com/EAL show for $30 off. And don't forget, Father's Day is coming up. A Trade subscription is the perfect gift for the coffee lover in your life, known as Papa. You've heard me talk about it a lot, but ultimately unlocking self-knowledge is the key, I think, maybe not to enlightenment, but sort of like enlightenment adjacency. That's kind of what I'm looking for.
I mean, you're listening to this Pau Gasol podcast right now, and what a career he's had through that very same way.
He did not take his body for granted, and he put it in the front seat. You know what I mean? He took care of it. So anyway, Inside Tracker is one of the ways to do that. We've heard me talk about it a bunch of times. I got my test back. Jojo and I just went over the results here. I gave them the saliva swab. It was super easy. I just got back a 50-page document.
But you're scientifically proven an athlete.
It says on athlete type, page 30, it says I'm a well-rounded athlete.
Yeah, well-rounded athlete.
Yeah. It's so on page 30 here of 50, it says that I am statistically proven through my DNA, through my genetic data, that I am a well-rounded athlete.
We're going back through the YouTube comments. We're replying to every one of them.
Yeah, I am a well-rounded athlete, folks. I have a great potential for power and for endurance, okay? My analysis is based on 6 of 6 markers, and ultimately the report looks at a group of different DNA results that influence endurance and affect power. So go to insidetracker.com/EAL show. Insidetracker.com/EAL show. And what are you going to get?
A limited time, you get 20% off the entire Inside Tracker store.
And I haven't checked, but I have a feeling like the Inside Tracker store might sell cars and trucks. That'd be an incredible situation.
This is a used car, but it's got an inner age of a 2022 model.
When you sit in it, it tells you about your own DNA as a driver. It's like, bro, slow down.
Oh, that's that.
You're a slow
you ain't
driver.
that guy.
You ain't that guy. Use your blinker, bro. Anyway, insidetracker.com/EAL show. Thank you for supporting the pod, and thank you for giving me insights about my own goddamn body.
We're the same age, more or less, a couple months apart. And
Are you older or younger?
I think I'm...
What's your birthday?
Well, February 3rd, 81.
So
I think you're 80.
So I'm 80,
Yeah.
July. So
Yeah.
I'm a little older than you.
Yeah, you got
a little
me.
bit. Just a
You-
little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
I'd
not-
rather
it's
be
not-
younger. I mean,
it's
I
not
don't
a
know if he asked me. No, it wasn't about that.
I'm shorter. I'm younger. I'm poorer.
You have a lot going on for yourself.
I can make some good videos, though.
Yeah, you got to make great content.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about I was thinking about the age thing because I felt the same way when Magic was diagnosed with AIDS. I was definitely like, oh my God, he's gonna die, right? Like that's of course,
Yeah.
But that was one thing I wanted to relate to, and then the other was that my mom went to medical school when I was in my teens, so I watched her become a doctor, and I agree with you completely. In fact, I feel like it might be. I don't know if I agree with it anymore, but I used to feel like being a doctor was the only truly like necessary job that we have on Earth, right? It's like, everything else is kind of like you can learn in some way, you can eat in some way, you don't, it's like the only essential, truly essential thing. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to disagree with that, but I felt that way for a while, which is that to save a life or to help someone through something that would potentially, derail their experience of life is crucial.
Yeah, that's why I always consider doctors as heroes. You know, you can say, there are other jobs out there, as military, where there's law enforcement, where there's, other jobs that save lives. But I always understood that without health, we have nothing, right? We're nothing without health. And so for that group, medical field, healthcare profession, to be able to devote yourself to make people healthier and to keep people healthy, which to me, the system has to change a little bit as far as like being so curative, but more kind of investing more in the preventive side of it. So things don't get to the point where you need to treat someone, put someone into some type of whether it's with procedures, whether it's with meds and drugs and stuff. You just want to make sure that we create a healthier society overall to prevent some of those issues. But besides that, I've always, doctors are heroes. Those are, to me, true heroes. So that's why for me, being an athlete, being recognized, acknowledged, sometimes treated as a hero, I just put a ball through a hoop. I just bounce a ball, I just run up and down and play the game that I love. But I'm not a hero compared to anyone for that matter. But definitely with doctors, those are the guys saving lives. And that's why I always had partnerships and relationships with hospitals throughout my career. Everywhere I went, I partnered with a pediatric hospital, and I made sure that I took time and visited the hospital and the patients and their families as often as I needed or as I could.
I want to ask you. We're going to go to a quick break, but I'm going to ask you this question,
Sure.
And then you'll have time to think about it.
Okay.
But it's a two-part question.
Okay.
I had dinner last night with a friend of mine, and we just went on and on and on about this wonderful subject, and I found myself really feeling like I don't know the answer.
Okay.
Do we live in a simulation, and/or do you believe in God? And we'll get back to that. And I'm being totally serious, actually.
Okay.
It's a conversation I want to have with you because the things you're saying are making me feel like maybe you have an opinion about this that,
A simulation?
Yeah.
You said? Okay. All right.
I get the feeling like you think, no, we're not in a simulation.
I mean, simulation of what? I mean, that's
Right.
kind of and who's making it or who's simulating it? Ourselves or the system or?
I don't need that kind of information. I just,
Right.
you know what I mean? We'll get back to you.
Yeah, I love.
We're gonna go to a quick break.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back. Thank you for the break. Thank you for being
course.
patient, everybody.
Of course.
What do you think about the question?
About the simulation?
Do you think we live in a simulation, and/or do you believe in God?
Right. And or. Okay.
Because I think they're kind of related.
So talk to me about what do you think or define what living in a simulation would be?
Well, it's like, is life just a game that someone else is
Playing or
Yeah, and it could be like
meaning there's a God and
Yeah.
and we're just pawns in a way or
yeah, and it's just kind of like, and maybe time doesn't even exist, and we're like on a lap. It sounds like I'm joking. I can
like
see
the
people
show
laughing.
of Truman kind
I'm
of
not
thing,
joking.
kind of
Yeah,
like
kind of.
Jim Carrey's
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. You don't think like that?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think that. I don't feel that way, and I don't think that way.
Okay.
I feel like we have a certain say and control of our own lives. Not a lot. I mean, not total, obviously, but we have certain control of our journeys and our time here, and our time is limited, for sure. Is there an afterlife? It's hard to say,
That's a good question.
right?
You don't know.
I don't know.
Do you?
Do you know?
Would you know?
No, I mean, if you know, let me know.
But would you like there to be one?
I would say, I guess I would say yes to that. I guess in a way we all I like to think that there's a prolonged life or afterlife where there's like, whether you want to call it heaven or you want to call it other things, that there's a longevity or longer run than just our time on earth as human beings.
Right.
But there's also the fact of saying, okay, our life is limited. We're human beings. We're not meant to be here for a long time, however that time it is. And it's pretty short. I mean, when you think about it, you look at the history of humanity, and who knows what happens longer term with our planet and the universe and whatever. Those are the factors you can't control. We just gotta enjoy it, And do you want to think about other stuff that is completely out of your control? Probably a waste of time.
Wow, that's very like. Yeah, I think it goes back to time, I guess, for you. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Like it's like what am I going to do with what I got? Like it's like interesting because like in golf, time isn't really an issue,
Right.
but in basketball it definitely is.
Yeah, time. Well, our basketball, you have quarters, right? So you have and the game can prolong itself if there are overtimes. But at some point, somebody wins, and it can go a little longer, a little shorter. And I think golf, the rounds, depends of pace of play. If you're playing alone, you have some groups in front of you or not. If you're walking, if you're golf karting, everything seems to be limited to a certain degree, right? Mm-hmm. Everything has an expiration date in a way. So,
is there one thing that doesn't? I don't think. I mean,
what you can think about more general concepts like love, or I don't know, things that might remain on Earth for a long time, whether there's some parts of nature and the planet, stories, right? But those stories die when they stop being told. Yeah. No matter what, you can go back to stories that have been present in humanity for thousands of years or a couple thousands of years, but at some point those stories are not told anymore, and then they're forgotten. So it's like they never existed. So stories will be alive as long as they're told, kind of like whether personal, individual, collective,
I guess I think about basketball having the clock so prevalent, right? Because it's all about the clock. Because it's like when you watch basketball, there's so many points, so many possessions, and there's so much going on, and
True.
It's a very basic court.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right. Golf is just like, okay, we're on the hole.
Right.
And this player is par.
Right.
It's very basic almost. I mean, the game itself is maybe more complicated. Maybe not. I shouldn't say that to you. But.
No. You can say that. I think it is in a way probably more complicated, and every course is different.
Yeah.
And every round is different.
Right, you agree with me there.
That's good. I do agree with you there. In basketball, from the rules standpoint, from the court standpoint, the players playing the game, the rules, whatever they are, they're pretty basic, if you will, or more simple. Than golf would be. Yeah. But that's why it's fun. That's why every sport is a little different. And
but maybe the way that the ball moves, it's more complicated in basketball. Like the game of golf is more complicated in the sense that there's more variables in golf. Mm-hmm. There's more things at play. Yes. Weather, hills, grass. True. But in basketball, the way the ball moves is like it's almost like a geometric exponential.
Well, to me, the beauty of basketball is that it's 5 players against 5 players, and it's 5 players playing together in unison, kind of thing. So there's a beauty to that, and that's where it's kind of that's where the variables kind of happen, and the ball moves, in a way which I wish there were more ball movement, and not as much. Shorter possessions and longer shots and individual game as it is today, compared to what it used to be, where it was more balanced. The possessions were longer, the ball would move more, change sides of the floor, go inside and out. Now it's 3-point shots, pick and roll, 1-on-1, and it's just not as beautiful as it was for me. Even though there might be more points and, guys shooting from 30 feet out and making them, which is great, but, basketball is much more than that. But that's where the beauty of the game, the ball is always on the move, right? And there's so much action. With golf, it's like, and people have said this to me many times, like, oh, ball, how difficult can it be? The ball is right there. It's not moving. Just sitting. You just got to hit it. Right? I was like, oh yeah, I wish it was that simple, right? And one thing is to hit balls on the range, and one completely different thing is to go on the course where the lies are different, and as you said, the grass is different, the conditions change from day to day, the pin changes from almost day to day too, pin placement, and you play from different tees, the same course, it changes. So there's beauty in that as well, and to be able to hit it consistently well, to have great contact or good contact, at least reasonable good contact. That's what I say. The game of golf to me is a game of being reasonable mistakes, and reasonable shots. Keep yourself in play, And when you're in trouble, get out of trouble, and scramble. I like the grind. I like the challenge of being in a bad position, because first, I've been there too often, more often than I would like to be. And secondly, it's what makes it fun. It's different.
Yeah.
It gives you a different look. Every shot is a little different. If I would, I guess the day that I hit shots in the fairway every time, and I'm in green and regulation, 90% of the time, it might become a little more boring. Right now, I'm not close to that, or often enough in those positions, but I'm working on it, and that's part of the thrill.
It's interesting because I think in golf, like, what is like the thing that is like the most satisfying? Is it like the sweet spot, or is it something else?
The sweet spot, meaning
just like that
pure shot, the pure 4-iron. Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Pure 9-iron.
That pure 56, pure putt. Center, yeah. I guess every, just hitting a good golf shot. You know?
Okay.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I try to, work on. Just hitting a good golf shot, saying good tempo, good balance, good grip, good tension. Following,
getting me excited to play.
Right?
This
Following
is like
through, finish your swing. All that good stuff. Hold your follow through, and just what you enjoy.
Do you want to record a meditation for golf?
I've done that before. I've done that recently for a company that I work with.
What company?
Better Up.
I'm so sad. I feel like I had this great idea
that we
were going to do, and can we do it though, or no?
Yeah, Better Up, and
are you contractually obligated?
For Oura Ring and for Therabody.
I would like you to write, and because you're into the mental game of golf. From what I understand, right? That's one of the things that really unlocked the fascination for you. The curiosity was, I'm playing against myself, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. You are playing against yourself. You're playing against the course, and to me, to be able to handle those moments, those ups and downs, where you feel like, oh, I just played 3 great holes. I'm 1 under. I'm killing it.
Kiss of death.
Boom, triple bogey. Boom, double. Oh my God, what am I doing?
Just brick wall.
I suck. It's like, or you go from a really good round in the low 80s, and then you go into the high 90s the next day. I'm like, what happened?
What happened?
What happened to my swing? What did I?
Because that doesn't happen in basketball. You have it's kind of more centralized.
I mean, you can go from a 30-point game and feel like you're the king of the court, king of the world, and you go to a 10-point game within the same week.
But the team could still win.
Yes.
And
so you can
sort of doesn't matter.
So exactly. You on a team game, it's not if you have an off night, there's teammates that can pick you up and still can push you to the win, and you kind of hit a little bit your bad performance, and it goes the other way around. You can have a great individual performance and you can still lose, right?
That's gotta suck.
It sucks. Yeah, one of my first career high, which I had 45 points with Memphis against, I think it was Seattle. We lost. It's like, I had 45 points. I had the best scoring game of my life.
Did you go in the locker room and be like, what's wrong with you guys?
It's like, guys, come on, guys. Don't leave me hanging there. I got to do all the work. What I got to score.
I feel like the locker room must be the best part of basketball.
Yeah. I mean, locker room, the camaraderie, it's what, it's what really makes it special.
Was it the way that it was depicted with Phil, as far as like the seating and the conversations and the meditation and the group, deeper understanding of what we're doing out here? Was it like that?
The very first, I guess, few sessions, let's say meditation that we used to do in the video room, usually. Sometimes we also did it on the road in locker rooms. It was a way, at first it was weird, right? It was different. I've never been in a meditation session with a group, with the lights out. You look around, everybody, closing their eyes and
you're used to
stuff.
It's usually a very different environment.
Yeah,
right?
different experience.
Yeah,
different experience. It's just you wouldn't take 10-15 minutes just to breathe and listen to your coach guide a meditation session. It's just
It sounds uncomfortable as you talk about it.
right. I mean, if you haven't experienced it, it does. We are uncomfortable with silence.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are uncomfortable with quieting the noise and being alone with our thoughts. And that's why there's so much distraction and there's so much going on around us. And we like that because that doesn't allow us to pay attention to what's going on with ourselves,
Right.
in a way. So it kind of hides everything out, you know? You don't want to think about, I feel like shit, or I feel like this, or this is going on in my life, or sometimes it's hard to face, right? So, yeah, it was a way, besides that, it was a way we were all in that room together. And it was a way to connecting with each other too, and doing the same thing, the same kind of unique and different and exceptional thing that not many teams or any other team probably doesn't do. Doing it together, that's kind of the way, okay, we're just going to block out all the noise, whatever goes on outside these walls, and just want to focus on our breathing and our posture, on, Phil's voice. That's pretty cool. It kind of makes you feel like, again, that's why mindfulness and meditation makes you feel present. Like, no matter what's going on around the world or outside this room, we're here.
Yeah.
We're here, and we're locked in, and we feel our bodies, we feel our chairs, we feel the ground. It's a different level, again, of awareness, which I think allows you to appreciate things a little more.
What is your, you told me you woke up this morning at, you said 5:30?
5:30, yeah.
Is there meditation in that? Early? When do you meditate? What's your practice? You said you meditate now.
Yeah. Usually I usually do it at night when I to decompress. Since we've had our baby daughter, it's been a little more challenging because she takes priority and she changes routines and dynamics. But you still try to get it in when you can, and you just gotta before it used to be before going to bed and in bed. Now she's in the crib in our bedroom, so I can put my AirPods on and I can listen to it. And that's how that's how you adjust, right? And but that's how usually where I get my meditation is just to decompress the last part of the day, quieting the mind, quieting the body, and just falling into the sleep.
That's supposed to be really good for the sleep process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been journaling actually. Do you journal?
That's right. I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah,
and I
but
should.
you used to.
I used to. I've done it for years.
What was your experience like journaling? Because I honestly, everyone was like,
Positive.
you should start journaling. And I was like, that's so dumb.
No, it's not.
And finally I did it. And I mean, I have to say, like on some level, it has been a part, it has probably been a small agent of some of the biggest changes I've experienced in my life as an individual in my whole life. And I've only been doing it for, I think, 5 or 6 months. Mm-hmm. And it's weird that it's happened as a sidecar into some massive life changes. What was your experience with journaling?
I enjoyed it. I think it was very helpful for me, especially you go through ups and downs and transitions and stuff. It's really good to, again, it's another way to kind of be alone with your thoughts and just kind of put them down and write them down in paper. Without the issues, you don't have to feel like you have to write pages and pages. You know, sometimes it's one sentence. Sometimes it's a paragraph. Sometimes, and this is how I feel. This is what I want to share. And it's with yourself. It's not like you're sharing it with a buddy or with the world, or you usually don't share your journal with others like that. But
you want to read my journal?
I don't. That's very personal. But if you want to, you want to share something with me that you find interesting, I'll be happy to read it.
Yeah. Can we pull up the journal? No, okay. Pull that shit up, Joe. No. Yeah, it's funny because you're right. What you're pulling on there is that it's like a relationship with yourself that you're developing, and it's a conversation.
You're basically talking to yourself. You're basically just expressing and writing your thoughts and your emotions, and that's healthy. That's also gives you self-awareness. Yeah, connectivity.
I wasn't expecting any of that. And like I said, people were just like, you should start journaling. And I was like, no, you're wrong. Right. But I thought the same thing about golf. So here we are.
Exactly.
A journaling golfer.
You don't know what you don't know. Right. And we have those, I think you mentioned that we have this preconceptions of something that we are unaware of, that, is not good.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know if you haven't tried it?
Yeah, how do you watch that go on around you? Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like because you watch people and you're like, oh, well, that's like, you don't know that though.
Right.
What you're saying is impossible to prove.
Right.
That's what I've noticed recently.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, what are you saying? Like that is impossible to be. While that probably isn't even true, it's also impossible to prove that it could be true.
Right.
Do you know that? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And I feel like obviously people are entitled to their life and their decisions, and they should make them, but they also should be aware of what they're saying and try to be accurate with whatever their opinions and their thoughts. And I say, okay, if you don't want to do this, don't do it. But don't say this because you don't like it if you haven't tried it.
Yeah.
And I know, and there's exceptions to trying stuff and things that are, I think, generally and objectively are bad for you or wrong. But things that are not necessarily, bad for you, you should, if you want to have an opinion about it before you're voicing it, give it a shot.
What book have you read more than any other book?
I think it would be the Untethered Soul.
Let's go.
Untethered Soul. Yeah.
That book came out, I think you and I were probably in our early 20s when that book came out, remember?
Probably 3 times.
It smashed the whole, it was just a wild look.
Yeah.
Remind me the premise again?
Oh, man. So I think it's about being mindful, connecting with yourself, appreciating, what you have, what you do, who you are in a way. I think that's always been a book where if I'm like not in a good place, I can fall back and remind myself that it's okay. So that's usually how it goes for me.
I had a close friend turn me on to that book, and it changed his life. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. It had an impact on my life too, and I've recommended it to many people.
Yeah.
And we have it at home. It's an easy read, not a big book, not a long book.
Yeah.
And,
I love those.
Yeah, right. Easier to read.
You and I are really worried about time.
Sometimes when you give someone a book and it's like, oh, it's 500 pages, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not.
Make it quick.
Make it like make it in the 80 to 100 page.
I gotta go.
Right.
I just changed my watch face. Shit.
Don't worry, you can change it back.
What's your watch face? You have the small Apple Watch?
I don't know.
You're
Is it small?
You have the small one, dude.
I don't know. Is it small? Is it same size?
I thought it was.
Might look small.
I literally thought you had
on
the small
me.
one. Yeah.
Right. Everything kind of looks a little smaller.
Jake,
on
that's
me.
not a joke. I actually thought you had the small one.
No.
I could see how it'd be like, oh, it's.
I can see how you would think that.
Yeah. How long have you had the Apple Watch?
I would say, I don't know, 4 years, 3 years, 4 years.
I've had it for 4 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, it hasn't changed my life in the way Untethered Soul has changed my friend's life, but I do like it much more than I wanted to.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of not like it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I never used to wear watches at all. Like it was very hard for me to wear a watch.
Why?
I don't know. I don't like compliments like that. I don't like to wear
Jewelry,
or I'll have my wedding ring and the Oura ring.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
I never wear. No, before I didn't used to wear rings, and I was just a simple guy, kind of.
But the Apple Watch isn't. It's like we don't need to get into the Apple Watch, I guess.
No,
let's just move on.
Yeah, Apple Watch. It is what it is. It gives you the time.
You don't want to talk about the Apple Watch?
Sure. You want to know your heartbeat? Boom.
What do you want to talk about? What is the most, when you think back on Kobe, what's the thing he said to you that you think about the most, that you remember the most?
When I think about him, I always think about him trying to be the best that he could be, and putting in the work in order to do that. I think about his determination, how much he cared, how much he wanted to win and be the best. But I also think about him being a father, a girl dad, keeping his family together through a very challenging career, and being probably the best player for a long time, and that's challenging to do. But he found ways to do it, and I think that comes from love, and those girls are a testament to him and Vanessa's raising those or instilling those values into them, and they're amazing girls.
So when you think about, like, because you brought up time to me a few times,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I wonder about how, well, I guess I'll tell you from my experience, like, so I think of my best friend.
Okay.
And it's interesting because the time, it's almost like we've always been friends, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't remember the time when we weren't friends. I remember when we met, but it's not like we didn't know each other before then, if that makes any sense.
Are you talking about your friends or you and I?
Well, I'm talking about my friends.
Okay,
I'm talking about my best friend.
Okay, got it.
We could be best friends if you let me win.
Oh,
today.
Done.
You're going to let me win?
We'll see. No, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna
I
let
didn't
you
know
or
you've
need
only
to
been-
let you win.
That would be a requirement for a friendship.
Okay.
From,
All right,
me.
well, that's good. That's good to know where you stand. That's what Hey, that's.
I'm just saying,
it's okay.
you need to pay me, and I need to win.
Okay, both.
It's pretty basic.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
much
it. That's it.
That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
We
Do
can
you
go
want
over
to? Do you want to know what you need to do in order?
What do I need to
that?
do for you to be friends?
Oh, no, just be you.
Just me?
Just be you. That's
Yours is so much more wholesome than mine.
all. Just be you.
Did you read? Do you read?
Have a good time.
Do you read to your daughter?
Yes, every night.
Shel Silverstein, or what do you go to?
No, we take her to kind of her mini library that
Okay.
she has in her room.
Oh,
And
because she's like
she
one or
picks-
two. You said
She's 20 months old.
20 months. Okay.
So she picks the books, and she picks about 5-7 books
Okay.
from the shelf, and then we take them to bed, and then I read it to them, and
Yeah.
I put them on the bed. I lay them out on the bed, and she picks. So which one we're going to read first, and she picks each and every one of them until we finish them all, and then after that, then we usually turn the light off and then sing to her, and then she falls asleep.
I think you just described if someone could do that for me, that would be
That'd be
great.
pretty great.
If I was just like, Pau, I want to read these 6 books. Start
Start here, follow here. I might fall asleep along the way, but just you keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we skipped the bath. I don't know what happened there. Okay. Anyway. You shouldn't have
You
said
can't
that.
help yourself. You can't help.
That was a
yourself.
terrible joke.
One day.
Going back to what we were saying, though, about time, is that when I think about, like, I was really trying to ask you about a memory
Okay.
with Kobe. And if there was a moment, but as I ask myself that question, I find that I almost have memories built around, like, photographs or videos or things like that. You know what I mean? And there are like, it's almost like the memories are like a place and a time, and there's not. I don't know how maybe your brain is different. Are you kind of the same in that way?
No, I don't need photographs to remember. I do have moments that are still instilled in my head, in my brain. They're very meaningful, especially because of how we lost him and his daughter. All those memories kind of get more enhanced or highlighted in your brain, and they just come up, to the surface, because you're not going to be able to create more moments with that person, and that's painful. Someone that it's important to you in your life, and has meant a lot in different ways. So again, I think that's why there's certain moments that are like highlighted and kind of appreciated, because that's how you keep people alive and present.
So I played golf with my friend who came out from LA. We were on this little boondoggle together, and he got us hooked up at this course in Chicago. We were playing. Doesn't matter where we were playing, but a member comes over and he's like, he's got some gummies, and I was like, what is that? Is that like gummy bears?
Yeah, like some Haribo.
Yeah, and he was like, no, these are the early birds. And I was like, oh, dude, we have those at the office. The early birds guys, they sponsor the pod. It's a CBD gummy. I mean, you know about this, Jojo. You can enlighten people on what it actually is, but I'm just telling you a story that my guy took the early birds and literally just opened Birdie. And he was just laid back. Dude.
He went early birdie. I'm sorry.
It sounds planned, but it's not.
Really?
plans were that.
This happened.
And here's the thing: is like I would never have really known that he was like that. He took 2, which I guess for him, he's a solid dude. You know what I mean? Like he had been on a plane. I don't know, like ready to go.
I got to say, taking an early bird CBD, which, by the way, each gummy has 2.5 milligrams of THC, which is the legal amount, and going and playing golf is one of my...
Just under the legal
Just
amount.
under the legal amount is one of my favorite ways to enjoy a weekend. Go out, perfect. Like, it's almost like putting the music on, transports you to a different place, but you're always in control. If you're listening to this and are curious about a natural microdose THC product, I don't know, like, go early birdie.
I mean, you got to go early birdie, and you got to try it. To get the discount, y'all, go to earlybirdcbd.com, and the code is RGC. What are they going to get?
20% off new customers' first purchase, and that's everything. That's the gummies you were just talking about. They have a ton of other interesting products. Honestly, we don't normally say this. This is not financial advice. It will make your golf game better.
You will win more matches. The link's also in the description. It's earlybirdcbd.com/RGC. And I'll say 20% off. I think that's basically going to be, you get a couple free holes.
It's also like basically a free gummy.
It's free play. In health and fitness, knowledge isn't the problem. Would you agree, Jojo?
I wouldn't disagree with you.
Sounds like a scared man. But anyway, other than that, I would agree that in health and fitness, it's not about knowledge. Everyone can find out and they can learn what to do. The problem in most of these things is that you're trying to consistently stick to a plan, developing a habit, right? So the key to results here is consistency. So you don't need another book. You don't need a video plan. You don't need a diet or a pill. What you need is someone to walk through the trenches with you. And at my Body Tutor, Adam Gilbert, the founder, his whole goal here is to help you make health and fitness a priority. And Adam is giving the Erik Anders Lang Show listeners $50 off their first month. So to do that, to save that, and to get that, all you need to do is go to mybodytutor.com, join, and mention the Erik Anders Lang Show when they ask how you heard about them.
They're going to ask about it, and then you're just going to say, oh, the Erik Anders Lang Show. Just drop it in, EAL show, any which way you want to do it.
Just real cash, because I'm a big fan of fitness, and I'm a big fan of, really understanding how we unlock higher levels of potential. And Adam wants to unlock his personal cell phone number, which is it says it in the ad reader. I don't understand why he's giving away his personal cell phone number. But at mybodytutor.com, you can text Adam, and you can get $50 off your first month at mybodytutor.com.
Text him.
When you were growing up, before coming to play in the NBA, and you were kind of maybe in your teens or early teens,
Sure.
Was there like an image of your life that you had, and was it different than what it ended up being?
I mean, I had a dream of playing in the NBA. I had a certain, I guess, and even teachers from my high school and classmates remember that I used to share that confidence that I was going to play in the NBA. I was going to play with Michael Jordan, and I was just in a way that it would sound kind of arrogant and crazy, right? But in a way that I was like, no, I believe that. Like I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna play there.
Would you include like even a part of it about being Spanish and being like recognized in that regard as international? Or was that just like understood?
Well, that was part of me being Spanish and playing in the NBA. That would make me recognizable and appreciated.
Because is that one of the? Because there are a lot of highlights for you. What's the number one?
What's the number one highlight of my career, my life, or
career? Yeah, career.
Man, I mean, I had a lot of them. I think being drafted in the NBA was a highlight. Being rookie of the year, my first year.
Day one was a highlight.
Was
That's
a highlight.
pretty sick,
every day. I mean, and don't get me wrong. There are ups and downs, and their seasons are bad or not good, or there's injuries, there's falling short, there's disappointments, but that's part of the sports, that's part of life. And you just kind of keep learning, keep growing, keep going forward in a way, understanding what happened, how can you prevent it from happening again, what do you need to do, and stuff like that. But obviously winning, it's always nice, right? And sweet. And now looking back, when you're in the grind, it's hard to grasp and stuff, but winning those 2 championships with the Lakers, it's legacy. People remember those moments, and a lot of people come to me and make references of those moments, whether they were there physically or they were watching it from afar, and they thank me for thank you for your service kind of thing, thank you for what you did. And it was like, I just did what I love, I just did what I enjoyed, and I tried to do my part. So.
Yeah, it seems like hearing you kind of like reflect on that, highlight question, it seems like maybe my interpretation of what you're saying is like the whole thing was a fucking highlight.
That's right.
Like the whole.
That's right.
It's all one record that can't be edited
exactly.
At this point.
I think my career is a highlight. Yeah, the whole thing. When I look at it, I've had an incredible, privileged career, a long career with a lot of great moments and times in the NBA, in the Spanish League, with my Spanish national team. We were the team that the USA always had to be aware of, and we played some great finals. We had some great battles. Some of the best international games are referred to, Spain, U.S., and Beijing and London. Those finals, and they were, great highlights. But it's just to me, it's not about, as Kobe said, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. And that's why we named the documentary, docu-series that we did on Prime. It's about the journey. It's really not about a single event or accomplishing this or accomplishing that. It's about the whole thing.
Yeah. And so what was that? You're referring to the docuseries that came out kind of following your return from an injury, right?
Yeah.
So what was the process like of getting involved in filmmaking for you?
It was something that when I fractured for the second time my navicular, I was in Portland, and I was a week away from playing my first game. And I was doing tests, CT scans, and MRIs on a maybe monthly basis, just to make sure that everything was good. And on the last one, they said, it's not good. It's kind of fracturing. I was like, oh, what? And I was, I felt some discomfort, but I felt like, hey, maybe this is part of it. I never had this injury. This is just part of the deal. It's always going to be a little achy. And I played with aches and pains throughout my career. So, but once I started, or I felt that, and I was like, okay, I have to see multiple doctors. Might have to get surgery again. I have to evaluate my life, my situation, my health, my future. And this is new. This is different. This is a different type of beast and challenge. I said, I want to capture this. I just want to capture how I'm going to handle this. And then one of the things that I wanted to do also was to share the part of transitioning, because transitioning out of the NBA, being a professional athlete, into a different phase, different chapter, the next chapter, and how did I go about it? And hopefully that could benefit other people, not just basketball players or athletes that are transitioning from one chapter, one profession of their life into the next one, into a different one. And so I wanted to capture that as well. It wasn't so much about the rehab process, because I had the outcome was really 50-50, where, and at some points they made me kind of reflect on whether I should retire and I shouldn't play basketball. I shouldn't push myself anymore, because my foot could potentially break again and collapse, and I would have a lifetime issue of not being able to, doctors would tell me, maybe if this doesn't work, or you keep pushing yourself and it breaks, so you might only be able to swim and bike. You won't be able to run. You won't be able to play basketball or do anything on hard surface. Golf, I guess, would be I guess 50-50. But at that time, I wasn't golfing.
Yeah.
So again, and it's just like, okay, you won't be able to play with your kids, run around with your kids. I'm like, what? I was like, okay, hold on, let's just sit down and take this in for a sec. So I had to talk to my friends, talk to my doctors also in Spain, in different places, and people that I trusted, and so kind of like evaluate and go through that moment was challenging. So I wanted to capture that. At first, when I was going to the networks, it's like, okay, so how does this? They would ask me, how does this end? Like, what is the ending? I was like, well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I hope that I play again and I can go back, play maybe in the NBA, maybe not, maybe play in the Olympics, maybe not. Obviously COVID hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. You buy me, my story.
Yeah.
This is what you know, and this is it should hopefully it should work and be interesting enough. And that's part of life. It's uncertain.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a script. Human's life it's not a script. It's not scripted. It's uncertain.
You write it every day, I guess.
Exactly, every day, and anything can happen any day, good, bad.
This podcast is unscripted, more or less.
More or less.
Can you tell?
Yes.
What is the fit? What is the? You've done a lot of interviews. What stands out for you as being like a really good interview? You don't have to say this because we're not done yet.
Okay.
But
okay.
we could.
This is not the last question.
Next time you could say this.
No, I mean, I like different. I like being stimulated in a way that it's enjoyable.
Okay.
Not that you get the same questions.
It's terrible.
Over and over and over again. It's just like I like, being challenged in a different way.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Okay.
What question do you hate?
Do I hate?
There's got to be one where you're just like, not again.
No, you know what? I'm so used to answering questions, the same old questions, and I always understood that media was part of why I have a great life. Mm. So
yeah, that's a wise perspective.
Yeah. I was the Magic Johnson Award winner, which they would give it to the guy in the NBA that it's more accommodating to the media and friendly to the media. So I won only 1 year though.
Okay.
But anyway, it's good enough. I've always acknowledged media, and even if you ask me the same question, I'll give you the answers usually with a smile on my face, even though I was like, seriously, you don't have anything better or more interesting to ask me.
There's a level of kindness there, right? You're a kind person.
I try.
Yeah.
I think you put out kindness out there and good energy. Usually you're creating some type of ripple effect on someone that maybe that's not his tendency.
Maybe they're new or having a day.
Yeah, they're having a day. They can go through their, you don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what's going on. So, you try to impact someone in a positive way. Say, hey, you didn't think that this was going to be as fun or as cool, or you were going to get a bad response, or you were going to trigger me in a way that I was upset or something. It's like, no.
Did you guys ever, like, during interviews, would you ever try to work in a certain word?
Like, what kind of word?
I don't know.
Give me an example.
Like, if you were at a game and then at the end you're like, everyone has to get in the word Foursquare.
No.
And then, no.
I never approached interviews like that
fun.
way. Yeah, it's kind of fun. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, because I think there's like a Jimmy Kimmel bit where they did that, and they got some golfers to like work in words
into their answers.
Yeah, I remember I was entertained.
Yeah,
it was maybe one of the most entertaining things I've seen in golf outside of like a great tournament.
Right.
What? Yeah.
What golfers were a part of that?
Yeah.
Interview process.
Yeah, I remember. Did anyone see that?
Do you remember?
We got
other golfers that were.
You saw it. Mikey saw it.
There you go. Mikey saw it. Yeah, he watches.
Mike's going to take over for the interview in a second.
There you go.
I would be curious to see what that interview would be like. Pau Gasol interviewed by his brother-in-law.
That could be interesting. That could be something.
What kind of does he ask you a lot of questions on the golf course that you hate?
No. No. Not really. I don't think. No, we just have a good time. We just go out there and try to, we get a little competitive. We try to always do well, obviously, because when I started playing, he was playing quite a bit. He was a much better golfer than I was.
Yeah.
And then because I've played so much.
You talk about it like those days are behind you. You're catching up?
For the most part, I shoot lower than he does, but from time to time, he
This is
scores.
the match I want to see.
He scores better.
How long have you been playing?
My whole life.
You're fucking kidding me.
No, it's insane. You can hit the ball and like in a
Wait.
piece.
Are you so annoyed that he's now
I'm
like
over it now.
beating you? You're over it.
Yeah. Because he does.
You've ruined his life.
No. I'm motivating him to be better, so he can, and he beats me from time to time. He still beats me. He still have
Okay,
a good round.
And what's your handicap?
Like 16.
It's okay. That's fucked up, pal.
No.
You're like, I'm kind of bored, so I just want to crush you, and it's going to take me a year. How long did it take for you to beat him the first time?
I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe around a year. Maybe I don't know.
He's like, I don't
maybe
know.
less.
It wasn't that interesting to me.
Less. No, it wasn't a matter of time. It was a matter of time. I'm a person that if I put my mind into something, I have a better chance to accomplish it than most.
Oh, I fucking wish I could. I mean, can I say that and believe it?
Yeah, I mean that's
If
what
I put
that's
my
the way-
mind to it, I have a better chance of accomplishing it than most.
So let's say you're a handicap six, right?
Oh, you mean with golf? No.
No,
I've been playing for like 11 years, and I'm just getting worse.
no, you're not. I don't
Yeah,
believe
dude.
that.
I don't
believe
know.
it.
I'm shrinking.
No,
You're getting taller.
No.
Are you shrinking?
I
Wait,
don't
are you
know.
shrinking?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't measure yourself anymore?
No. Do you?
That's a good point.
Apparently,
I don't either.
I don't know. Apparently, you made a statement that you're shrinking. So
Yeah.
that was on the golf side,
I
and
don't
also your
measure
height.
myself.
I don't know.
You know what I heard recently is apparently guys are lying about their height.
Are they?
So if a guy says he's 6 feet tall, he's actually
like 5'10".
5'10". And if he says he's 5'11", it could be 5'8", 5'7".
5'8". Are they counting because of the shoes, or
It's a funny one for me because I truly am 5'11" and 7/8". With the hair, I could be 6 foot and an eighth.
truly?
Truly, yeah. So, but I don't measure myself like you pointed out.
Yeah, right. Not many people should, I guess, at a certain point in their life.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know exactly when you're starting to shrink.
I don't know if I want to know. I feel like
Do
it'd
we
be so
have
sad.
is there a study on
Like
that?
I feel like if the doctor was like, "You're shrinking," I would take that very personally. Ironically, it's just me.
Right.
It's not.
It's not like right. Right.
It's not like they made up the news.
Can you imagine? Yeah. What pace?
Yeah.
At what rate are you shrinking? I mean, how much do you shrink?
Also, don't want to know that.
Right. Who cares? Not relevant.
No. Also, it doesn't really change anything.
No, that's what I'm saying. Not relevant.
Do you have a mantra?
Do I have a mantra? I try to enjoy every day. I try to, be thankful for every day and not take anything for granted. That's what I.
So growing up in, where'd you grow up in Spain? Barcelona?
Yeah, right outside of Barcelona.
Outside of Barcelona. Must have been beautiful, first of all.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
And when you go back there now, how far from where you grew up do you stay?
About 15 minutes.
Okay, cool.
So now I live kind of in the city.
And just to confirm, I did get the invite, right, to go there?
To go where?
Visit you there?
Sure.
As friends?
As friends,
Okay,
right?
good.
We're becoming best
That's
friends.
on camera? We got
It's on
that?
camera. I
Okay,
had
cool.
recorded.
You can give me
But-
the address off camera.
Yeah.
It's fine. We don't want everyone showing up.
Yeah.
But I am curious to know-
Privacy, protection,
Just you and I.
issues. Yeah,
it's just a
always.
friend thing.
Yeah, exactly.
No cameras. But as growing up, though, because a lot of religion in Spain, was there a lot of church for you growing up? Because I feel like I wouldn't.
Some.
I'm hearing that. I don't know.
Some. More from one side of my family than the other.
Okay.
So one was present, the other one really wasn't.
Okay.
So there was some, but not a lot.
But most people in Spain
Back in the day.
go to church every Sunday.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. What day?
Not as-
like
yeah,
like your
back-
our age.
I would say maybe a generation before.
Okay. You and I are actually part of a micro generation. Yeah, we're in between millennials and Gen X.
Okay.
So we're
What do we
Zennials.
call Zennials?
Yeah, so
okay.
XENNIALS. Micro generation.
That's a thing. It's
a real thing. It's from
real-
78 to 83.
Okay.
You and I are right in the middle.
Wonderful.
And what that means is
Okay.
that you and I are distinctly capable of relating to many more people. Yeah, because we kind of like know what it's like to not have a cell phone, but we also know what it's like to have a cell phone. There's a lot more to it than that, obviously.
No, but that's an important fact. And
not
I feel,
just
I
about
do
the
feel
cell
that
phone.
I am relatable, that I can relate.
Seriously.
That I'm not myself relatable, meaning like, I relate to people.
You're saying you're unrelatable?
Meaning from the height standpoint.
Oh, physically.
You know.
I have to just call myself out. We were outside, and some guy looked at,
Yeah.
I thought me, and he was like, I love your work.
Right.
But he was talking to you.
Well, for a quick second,
we're at a golf
we were
course.
like, oh, did he?
We were so confused.
He might have recognized you.
I was like, I don't know.
Maybe he recognized me.
Yeah,
We don't know. We didn't know. It was
should-
up in the air.
We got to go find him.
It was
Hey,
up in
just
the
to
air
be
until
clear.
he said, "Well, Pau, right?"
Yeah, which one
That's
was
when
it?
we knew
Yeah.
and discovered that he wasn't
basketball
He
or
wasn't
golf?
a fan.
Yeah, I was not a fan of adventure golf.
yeah.
Yet is
Yet.
the way I like to say it.
yet,
Yeah.
but he will.
Can we get a preview on today's match?
The match today. What do you propose?
Well, I was open to play 18, but
I love it. We can keep playing.
we can keep playing, but
Yeah.
we might be able to get.
We're gonna play the back nine
Right.
as a match on camera,
Okay,
which will
But-
be fun.
sure.
And then we can keep playing. But you,
So we are going to play the back nine as a
Yes.
match. Okay, good. There we go. Right. There you go. Because I asked, hoping that it was going to be the back nine because it has
Why?
more.
Does that set
more
up better for you?
views, More views
It's
and
just more scenic.
more scenic. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So we were hoping, actually talking to Mikey, he was like, oh, we should do the back nine.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
set it
but
up.
they were but they told me, someone from the team, because I asked, that it was going to be on the front nine and they were going to pay
So
do a little
sick.
something silly
Yeah, who
on
wants to play
10,
front
11,
nine?
12. I said, okay, that sounds good. It is what it is,
So we'll play the back nine. How do you gamble a lot? I feel like you. What's the most? How about that? What's the most you've ever gambled for, and who was it against?
On a course, on
Yes.
a golf course. I
Golfing.
think the most.
You're not allowed to gamble in basketball if you're on the team, right?
Right, no.
Got it.
No,
Pete
I
Rose.
have. I'm not a big gambler. I don't love gambling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm
no.
actually not surprised.
Yeah.
I get that vibe from you. You're more about the inner journey.
Yeah. I'm the inner satisfaction and the thrill of doing something
Yeah.
that I'm enjoying.
Of
Going
crushing your
with
brother-in-law
someone, crush.
and a reasonably lesser known golf
Well,
personality.
anyone for that matter.
Yeah, anyone.
For that matter. Yeah. I enjoy winning. I enjoy competing a little, but it doesn't have to be for money.
Okay, good.
That doesn't add.
That's
It
good.
adds a
That's gonna
little
work
bit
out for me.
of something, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be. So usually, at the most, I don't know, we usually play 20-20-40 or 20-20-50 front, back,
Okay.
presses, so forth.
I thought I was going to hear you say 20,000.
No.
And you were like, I don't really like to play for that much.
No. We don't. No.
No.
I don't.
Okay.
That's not enjoyable.
I was thinking loser has to go swim in the ocean. What do you think about that?
Have you brought your swimsuit?
Yep.
Oh,
Did
great.
you?
No, but
Oh, it's too bad.
hopefully
you win.
Hopefully, I'll,
When was the last time you went swimming in the ocean?
recently in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
why-
doesn't count.
Why not? It's an ocean.
Because Hawaii, it's like, this is different.
This is different, but there's still an ocean, right?
It is.
Do we agree? Or
Technically
not?
speaking, it's the same ocean, but
Right.
Hawaii is just like, more people go swimming
Yeah.
in Hawaii, in the ocean.
Yeah.
But here, it's like, you would not do that.
Right.
Unless you were
Surfers.
surfing.
Surfers.
And they have a
There you
wetsuit anyway.
Right.
Which is, come on.
Right.
Do you
Not
like,
quite-
have you ever surfed?
No.
Never surfed.
Never surfed. I'm open to it.
Do you surf, Mikey?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
open
you
to
got to
it.
get into surfing and for about 10
You-
years, and then we'll get him
Have
into
you?
it.
Do you? Yeah.
I have surfed.
And
Yeah.
do you do it regularly?
No, I think golf just honestly, golf is like if there was like a pie chart of my life, there's like
Yeah.
golf is like 88%, and then it's like I got 12% like is like showering and like working out
Sleeping.
and sleeping.
Right.
And but as far as like extracurricular activities, golf is just a lot.
What do you do in your workouts? I'll be curious to know, what does a workout look like for you?
Trying not to take that condescendingly.
No. I'm like, no.
No, I have a tonal.
Yeah.
So I have a tonal. You know Michelle Wee. Do you
Yeah.
probably play golf with Michelle if you guys
I
live
haven't.
near each
No.
other.
I was with Johnny West, her husband,
Great guy.
recently. Yeah, actually 2 days ago at the Warriors game.
He's got, I was on their first date.
You were.
How funny is that?
That's very
Yeah, I was
funny.
there and I was like, Johnny, I got a question for
Johnny
you.
went to high school with my brother at
Really?
Memphis. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny and Michelle. Anyway, so Michelle works with tonal. You know what it is?
Yep.
It's like the thing with the arms.
My wife
You
has
have
one.
one?
We have one at home.
Amazing.
I know.
We could like link up on there maybe.
Sure.
I wonder. I bet we could. I bet we could track each other. You don't care. You don't want to link up.
Come on, Eric.
I think it'd be kind of cool
Pick it up.
Michelle has all these golf workouts. You know, they're like
Okay.
Amazing.
And you do those
rotational
workouts.
stuff. So I do.
So
those.
you do mostly golf workouts.
I do tonal. No, I do all kinds of workouts.
Oh,
I don't know what I'm doing.
right.
I just do whatever the screen is telling, and then I do the Peloton.
Nice.
I do some cycling, and then I do some. I actually started running recently.
Really?
Yeah. What do you do?
I do some biking.
Yeah. Mountain biking or road biking?
More like no, in the gym.
Oh, Peloton.
Yeah, at home.
Okay.
I use a Kaiser bike because they're tall enough.
Oh, Peloton. You can't fit on a Peloton?
It's tight.
They need to make a.
Yeah, it's tight.
So
it's
what's
not,
bigger? Just the seat post?
The seat pose, everything is just bigger,
Okay.
taller for me. You know, for the length of my legs and stuff. So
Right.
they're not like.
Right. Yeah. It's like a tricycle for me.
Exactly.
Got it. Yeah.
They actually can extend.
Just again, me.
Get a good stride in.
Self-image there. It's just- Yeah, it's okay.
Right. And I do Pilates.
Dude, I have never done Pilates.
No?
And I almost did it yesterday.
So I have a reformer. It's called a reformer at home.
Yeah.
And
Those aren't cheap.
No, they're not.
Yeah, you got to commit to that.
Yeah. So
How long have you had that?
I would say about 7 years.
And so do you need a trainer now, or you can just do it solo?
I have a trainer.
Okay.
So I have via Zoom.
Okay.
She gives me the instruction and the
But
workout.
in theory, you could do it alone.
Yeah, I could.
If you have that machine, you're good to go.
I could.
Yeah.
But I think it's always about discipline. I think we're not trained or wired, I think, for the most part, to be disciplined enough to do stuff on our own, that it takes
Interesting that you would say that.
that type of effort and dedication. So it's always easier when someone holds you accountable and
Right.
pushes you to do things, and so I think it's always that trainer concept. It's helpful. It makes a difference.
It's funny because I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, I have an image in my head that you're a very disciplined person.
I am, for the most part.
But you kind of just said also that you're not. Or you said that
I said that
humans-
I'm more reliable, or I can do it more often,
Yeah.
and more religiously, let's say, if I have someone that will provide me with the workout. So first of all, you don't have to think about structuring a workout,
Right.
and you just follow whatever they tell you to do.
Yeah, I see you.
And then they push you as well, and make sure that you're doing it correctly. Your posture,
Yeah.
exercises, the reps, everything.
Are you actually going to play the jump in the ocean?
Yeah, you want to do that? Do you want to jump in the ocean if you lose?
No.
Okay. So we need to do something where he will agree to
Okay,
it.
all right. Let's end on that note. Yeah.
What do you want to do?
What do we?
What do you
What
wanna
should we
play
do?
I was thinking if you lose, you have to invest in Random Golf Club. What do you think of that?
Wow.
I can make it a preferable rate.
Yeah, and what do you do if you lose?
We'll talk about it. If I lose, that's a really good question. If I lose, I'll
Right.
invest in whatever you want me to invest in.
Oh, okay.
Not any conflicting,
To the same
businesses that we're already invested in. Or
what business are you invested in?
well, personally, just Random Golf Club, but
Okay. So anything, let's say golf club, golf related.
yeah, no,
Okay.
not any other golf business.
Okay,
would
I
be
see.
great.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Okay, cool.
Good.
So we have a deal.
All right, great.
Uh,
Perfect. Deal.
No, I mean
We haven't talked about the
you know what we
amounts
could
or
do? I know what
anything,
we
which
could
is
do.
good. Which is good.
Loser.
Yep.
This is it.
This is it.
This is it.
We got it.
Loser has to go to a thrift store and
thrift
buy an outfit and then play golf in it on their next round.
Wow. On the next round.
Because this goes back to when I wore your jersey
Adventures of
in
Golf.
season
Season
one
one.
Adventures of Golf.
That's right. That's
this is like-
that's the first episode.
I could like so many emotions could come over me right now to think that I walked into this, thrift store and like left with a jersey and now here we are.
That's right.
It's kind of crazy.
It is.
So if you lose, you'll be doing that. You might put on someone else's jersey and then 7 years later be interviewing them on a podcast. Maybe it's a hockey podcast. I don't know.
I never know.
Would you go to a thrift store?
Would you kind of guide me to see locate one?
Yeah, we could do it. Like we could do it.
We'll go together. Or
Maybe
no?
tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow in the morning, or I don't know when their flight is. I'll do it on the phone or whatever. We'll figure it out.
Okay. FaceTime.
This would be good. I'll go with you.
All right.
I don't.
I don't know if they let us, but Eric's going to do a break 90 at Southern Hills with me for the PGA Championship.
Yeah.
What if you
Tulsa, is it? Or near Tulsa?
Tulsa, yeah. So, yeah.
What if you won, Eric, where's your jersey? Brings it back.
Fully down.
Where's the Pau Gasol jersey? The one from
I
the
could-
thrift shop?
I
Do you
could
still have
wear
that one?
his.
Do you still have that?
Dude, I don't. And there's like so many things I don't have. Like
Right.
I might have it somewhere.
Remember what we just said about the table and all the things that you've kind of
Yeah.
gathered?
There's actually only 2 items I have from former Adventures in Golf episodes, and one of them is the slum stick from Mumbai.
Yeah, I remember that playing on the street.
Yeah, that's a
in
crazy
India.
thing.
I remember
I
that,
have that in my kitchen.
episode.
I love that item.
That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool episode.
And during that episode, I was gonna, they said if the loser gets a tattoo of the winner's name, and I lost, and so I said, okay, let's go get a tattoo. And my producer said, I really recommend you don't go get a tattoo. And I was like, why? And he's like, I just don't think you'd be good health-wise. And I was like, why? And
Well,
apparently,
you could also do it back home in a safer, healthier place.
the producer didn't recommend that. They just, because I needed it to pay off in the video itself, so we did
I
henna.
see. Right.
But yeah, but I really wanted to go. I was still,
You
I was
were
like,
still.
what could happen?
You were gonna right.
I'll be fine. And then he was like, I really don't think you should go get a tattoo
Probably a wise call.
in the slums of
Smart.
Mumbai.
Right. Probably a good call.
But now here I have a bunch of other tattoos.
That's right.
Do you have any tattoos?
No.
Yet.
I'm not a tattoo guy.
Yet.
No, not yet.
Never.
Never say never, but
Okay.
right now. I don't see it.
Okay. So we're gonna play Loser Gets a Tattoo.
How many things are we playing for, man? We gotta have to play a few more games.
All right. Yeah, we did.
It's gonna be like
So I like the thrift store
on
idea.
your first.
Would you really wear a thrift store golf polo? That's all you have to commit to.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thrift store golf polo that I get to choose.
Didn't you say you got some type? You got something after you wore those trunks at the thrift shop?
Oh, yeah. I was wearing underwear.
Oh, okay.
But I did go straight from a thrift shop to a golf course and strapped on a bathing suit. You're an XL or large?
Double XL.
Double X. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna find you a jersey, or I'm a medium.
Or a polo or a shirt. Does it have to be a jersey or no?
I said jersey, but I meant polo.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. No worries.
Okay. I think we're done. Thank you so
Okay.
much. That
Thank
was a
you.
really fun podcast. How long was that? 140? 130? 125.